Yes, everybody, welcome again, another live stream. And if correct, we are streaming again. Let's see if everything is working. I had a little bit of problem because the microphone wasn't working, but suddenly one plugin, which I use as an insert, the Vox Former, had no audio. So, but now everything, I did reload it again, and now it has again audio. Yeah. So as you can see, I'm playing bit 2, and today we announced on Facebook that you can download it again with the NKS installer. So we have in the download page, you have the regular bit 2 installer, but also the NKS one. And if you have a complete control, which is in front of me, and I'm playing, so maybe I should make it a little bit bigger, because what I did is change the user interface of bit 2 to 125%, otherwise it was a little bit too big. Included the complete control, and then here's the keyboard, and then you see bit 2, and there's a range of controllers which are addressed already for you. You also can change it, by the way, but that's another story. So here we have it. So if you click here in complete control or in machine, you can see the dials and the pages we selected. So the first page is the oscillator page, where you can change the oscillator volume, oscillator waveform. And then we have the envelope attack on the first page, because that's very often used. Very long. And then you got the second page, it's filter 1, which the filter type, and the second is the cutoff frequency, Q. And then you have the envelope amount. With the envelope, and you here down here you can see changing. Here in the filter envelope, you see decay, sustain, release. So So this is for the workflow, indeed very nice if you like to edit sounds. Yeah, it's the amount of MB is caused by the little audio example. So if you click on a preset, it doesn't load into bit 2. So on the left side, you see the browser, which is the NKS browser. So you can click here, and then you have a little audition. So I loaded now this Saw 2 pad. And then, of course, if filter 2 is used, alter filter 2 is now bypass. Then you can edit filter 2, pitch LFO, the chorus you can change here. Then we have the ARP control. So let's take a ARP preset. So here you have the banks in the NKS system. So you don't use the bank system from our own system, but you use the NKS presets, which are converted presets to the NKS system. And here you can see the banks. You only will miss the introduction bank, otherwise you would have double presets, and that's what they don't like in the NKS system, because the introduction bank in our own system are essentially a compilation of all kind of presets you can expect in each plugin. So that's always the introduction bank. So here, if you go down, you see ARP and sequencer. So double click loads it in. So then you can go to filter 2, change it. And of course, if you change things, it's saved in your song, but it's always wise to save your preset. So you can, in case of complete control, you also can save here the preset in complete control. I'm not sure where it is. I think it's here. Yes, you file, save as, then you can save the preset of bit 2 as an Anchor S preset. So, but in normal cases, it loads in if you do some changes. If you want to use it then in another music piece program, then also wise to save it here in our own system. So here, okay, let's go out of this one. So filter 1, filter 2 is not used, pitch LFO, chorus, ARP control is on, and then you can see we have the loop mode. You can change the loop start here. So little dot moves over, you see, start. And of course, then the next would be the steps amount. So it's also two parameters. These two things with the loop start point and the steps amount, the number of steps, you can have this here and also record as a parameter, of course. So these are essentially parameters. Then have we done the page 1 of the Arpeggiator? It's the tuning, so which I can tune. Step 1 to 8, step 9 to 16. The velocity per step you can control. And then you got the last one, it's the free row. If the free row is used, you can also change the free row. You see, changing. So it's also cool for changing the Arpeggiator if the bit 2 is having the Arpeggiator active. So saving a preset would be, so if I would save here, file, save as, and then you have, you see here the name appears, but I would then call it now bit2 test, save, and then it would appear in documents. So I need to go in my computer to wow. So I need to check this out. Documents, you got then documents, native instruments. Here you got then documents, native instruments. I think it's then in user content. Here it is. And then you see you got a folder bit2, and there you see my test. So this is then the preset is, I think in the, not sure how this is on an Apple computer, maybe also in documents on the Apple, or maybe in application folder. But here the user content, there it saves then the preset in Anchor S format. But again, this is the Anchor S format. If you want to use this preset also in other music hosts, and like the preset you created using, then it's wise to save also by using our own system. Then you can use it also in another sequencer which loads only bit 2. So if you load elsewhere bit 2, then you can load in the preset. So if you work with Anchor S and you create your own presets in this Anchor S, save it in the Anchor S format and in the location I just showed you, but also save it again in bit to its own format so that you always have both of them. So this is how you can create presets using the Anchor S. There should be also an option, I think, to create an audio file, because these little audio files we created, of course, automated. So if I click here on the audition, these are little audio files. And this John does this automated. So here you have the volume. So there are 6 seconds, something like that. And then you don't need to load down the preset to audition it. The only disadvantage is, of course, it makes the NKS installer very big. In bit 2 with over 1600 presets, it's not that big. But if you talk about Blue 3, which has over 4000 presets, you talk about a 1.2 gigabyte file, which essentially is so big because of the NKS audio examples. But I think what you mean is then also create a audio file. I think that only an audition yourself, I think that's only possible if you have Machine 2. We have a different Machine 2 version, which is for developers. So I'm not sure if this is available in the end consumer version of Machine 2 that you can create an audio file from it. But maybe it is. So if you go to, because I can upload Machine here, that's not a problem. Other Machine 2. So here we have Machine 2, and there is this feature where you can, let me see, file, export audio. That's maybe for the song. I saw something about this subject that you can make your own example of a preset, but I don't see it yet here. So in case that would be possible to make your own audition, I think it should be done in Machine 2. But saving preset, if you work with NKS and you create your own preset, save them in the NKS format, but also in the original bit format. So so that's what people ask in the chat room. If anybody has a question, just let me know, of course, and then of course I can look into it. So bit 2 is now NKS compatible. So if you own Explorer 8, you can do 2 things. You can go to the download page of Explorer 8, scroll down, and download the single installer for bit 2 called bit 2 NKS version 1.0.1, and run that one. So it's not needed to download fully the Explorer 8 NKS installer. Maybe you missed that also Blue 3 is NKS 3 now. Then of course it's wise to simply download the full Explorer 8 NKS installer. We also updated small issues in Blue 3, so that one you could download. Yeah, and that's it for, I think, a few minor things in Blue 3. And last week I wanted to do something in Blue 3, and John Iris gave me a tip how you could do that. And I want to go to Blue 3 now and show something very cool. Because we have Blue 3, this is version, you can see it here, version 1.0.1a. So that's a little bit newer one. If you go here in this section and you click download latest version, then it should be the case, if you don't have this version, that it says there is a new version and you can download it. So give that a little try. Most likely you don't have this version and it has some minor bug fixes. So that's new what we are doing in all our plugins, so that if you go here and download latest version, it will download the latest version, or it will say you have already the latest version, which is in my case this one. So what I wanted to try with Blue 3 is having split points, so that with a given velocity, I hear oscillator 1, with another velocity, I hear oscillator 2, I make split points. Well, we have with the sampler the option that you have split points with the sampler. So if you go layer edit, you see here you have then the split points. And you see there are no samples loaded, but these split points, which you can see appearing here, I can use in the modulation matrix. So even if you don't have loaded your own samples, you can use them in the mod matrix. Here is the mod matrix, and layer 1 is used from the sample page to control the volume of oscillator 1. And it's up to layer 4, so I can make 4 split points. And you hear, if I go to the sample page again, you see the split. So the first oscillator goes to velocity 24. From velocity 25 to 52 goes oscillator 2. Oscillator 3 responds from velocity 53 to 88, and from 89 to 127 is oscillator 4. So oscillator 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if I... So maybe I should have a different saw. Then maybe the volume is a little bit... So here the play soft is the saw, play a bit harder. Square, a bit harder. The res 2, and even harder, the spectrum 5/7. So this makes that you can do velocity splits, which can be very interesting. So let me give it a try and do some, make a cool sound. Let me try to make a cool sound today. So I would say let's start with the first two, simple, because you also can use then the built-in samples for this. Sample tabla, tuned percussion. So I use the tube. And maybe I should make the splits a little bit different. So maybe this one should be from 101. Oh yeah, 105. So I make it a little bit different because we might play a bit harder than we might expect. Okay, so a bit more like this. So I move it around a little bit. So the letters are a little bit small. I already wrote that down that we should have them a little bit bigger for the in an update. So yeah, so that's the sound 1. Sound 2, I take something else, maybe also tuned percussion. Okay, and then there another one. Bass kalimba. And that one, yeah, I've just picked something, so just to see how things work out. So, well, it could be. Okay, let me take there a string model. So now I have 4 things. So let me boost a little bit the volume. So then we can go. And then of course. And then I could go to the Arpeggiator. Well, let me first save this preset to be sure. Save preset as velocity split fun. That's what I would. And then of course this is it. But I would be cool if you have that with an ARP. So okay, I first will do 16 steps. Yeah, it sounds strange, isn't it? But it's possible. So here the string model. Weird. Sounds very strange. So it's not that musical if I have a beat. So maybe the ARP should have another. So maybe the tubes should be different. So I'm just playing around. So I'm tweaking around to get a little bit more musical useful. So what happens is that the modulation matrix uses layer 1 to 4. Oh, what is happening here? Something from a track playing. Sorry for that. So the layer 1 to 4, which is in the sample page, which is a split layer, I'm using that as a source in the modulation matrix to have a velocity split. So I'm using the ARP. So that sounds. So what I could do now to make it less boring is a little trick. Command, I would say copy sequence 1 to 16 to 70 to the other ones. Make it here 32 steps, and then I have a copy of 1 to 16 up to 17, 32, and here I make little changes. So, okay, it's a bit difficult. So it's not very musical yet. The tube is maybe not a good one, so maybe something else should be picked. So let me give a little try here. So I'm just playing around, guys. So very spacey, this one. So sometimes the effects make the difference. So let's do a little bit of delay. Then they need to be, because now the destination of all the oscillators you see is dry. So that needs to be FX1, 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 and FX1. Yeah, this. A bit weird, isn't it? And still I can still use one of the normal oscillators. throw that one in the filter. Filter 1. I would say let's throw a bandpass filter here. Yeah, a bit like a steel band. Yeah. So I'm just playing around. I'm still not satisfied. But yeah, so what happened is now I because he saw oscillator 6 is not involved in this wave sequencing, so it's more doing only this synth sound. And let's throw that one in the FX. And the other one's doing a velocity split, so tube 1 is only playing with a given velocity setting. Glass 2. So yeah, I mean, this synth is totally insane in terms of features. So you can spend hours doing these kind of things. So save preset. I saved this one. I will make it available for you, Gerard Bruins, sure. In the info section, just like last week, you will find this preset. And feel free to add it, of course. If you go to the ARP, you can switch off notes, you can change it, whatever you want, of course. Or what you could do is change here the waveform. So now I saved it. But what you could do is simply, okay, let's take another waveform. So I'm looking here. So I'm just changing here the waveform. Which one is very low? That one is also nice. Now what you, of course, you can do with the modulation mix, so I make this one save as preset 2. This is fun too. Is using the modulation wheel or the XY here. So we did not use the XY here. It's not addressed. And you can do some cool things with it. So double click puts it in the central. So here I could say oscillator 1, oscillator 2, mod volume, oscillator. So I'm using here the oscillator volume so that you can change it. I use the mod volume. So let's see what happens if we go. Changes the, still again the balance, or should I take volume? Yeah, I should take volume because then it doesn't respond very well. So that's why we have two types of volume. Sometimes you need to have the mod volume and sometimes the standard volume. Now I think okay, that's better. And then we could add, and of course, the filter a little bit. Filter 1, frequency. So now the XY has meaning. So I need to save it because now the XY have meaning. Save preset. And then the other thing is, of course, the modulation wheel. We also could have that one controlling, for instance. Oh no, we do that in the FX itself. So here we can say modulation wheel and mix, FN1 mix, and also modulation wheel again, controlling the feedback. Yes. So if I open the modulation wheel, I really can make it go wild in the delay. And what you also can do is that having an additional effect. So that's cool with the MIDI modulation wheel, and I keep this one dry, so the mix is dry, but I still control here the mix with the modulation wheel. So when the modulation wheel opens, the phaser goes into action and you got the delay. This one is cool, isn't it? Velocity split fun too. So I made this sound no more complete. So the modulation wheel does something. The pitch bend is a normal thing. So the XY is doing something. So it's also on the main page. So you can always record this. And the modulation wheel. So I think this one is better than the first one, but that's sometimes you start and then you run into other things, and so yeah, it's in the end it's a cool sound. So so this is more a deep editing stuff. So I started out with using the layer 1 to 4 as a source, which is from the samples, and then you use the split points. So oscillator 1 plays only until velocity 41, and then oscillator 2 plays from velocity 42 until 70, oscillator 3 from 71 until 105, and 106 up to 127. There plays oscillator 4. In the Arpeggiator, if the velocity key mix is fully to the left, it means that the sequence of velocity setting is routing. And you see here I have the different velocity settings, which makes that these influences the 4 oscillators. And then additionally there is an oscillator 6 which doesn't have this influence, which is just playing and going through a filter. And then so the last thing I need to do, because I think this one would be a very nice preset in the full version. So this one will definitely appear in the next full version of Blue 3. And once we do an update, of course, I need to set a category. This is a ARP preset. It's percussion. No, it's pretty fast. It has a lot of FX, modulation wheel. It sounds, I think, digital, but also a little bit analog. But that's a bit hard to decide. But that I keep it like this. ARP fast. It's the XY is it's live mode. Of course, it's tempo synced for the ARP and the delays. So yeah, I would apply and save, and then we have the velocity split fun 2. Velocity split fun 1 was percussive. And also FX that we still need to do. Sample beige, yes. Also live, so I'm tagging that. And of course the split fun 2, by the way, was also digital and sample based. I like this one better, isn't it? So I will make both of them available on a velocity split fun 1. I rename it because then we have version 1 and version 2. It's not that good as version 2, sorry. Okay, so you see this is oh, I did rename it and it lost the tagging, or did I forgot to click on it? That also could be the reason. So split 1 and split 2. Tempo sync, yeah, that one is also tempo sync. So 2 presets this today. Hey, what happened here? Did I lost a preset? I did something strange. I renamed the preset and suddenly the whole preset is gone. That's a good one, isn't it? Oh, how is that possible? Is this a bug or did I do something stupid? Maybe the last thing. So it's only going to be this fun 2. I should not change, but I changed the name and suddenly the whole sound was gone. Strange, isn't it? But I will check that out. Cool. So yeah, this is today about Blue 3 and using the sample features, essentially, because no samples are loaded. It's where you can load in your own samples, but we use then this split point as a source in Blue 3. And you see there are a lot of sources. You see you have MIDI, which are the original MIDI things. Then you have the modulators, so you can use all kind of sources inside the other. See the Arpeggiator 3 free rows. You can even use the output to modulate again, white noise to modulate again. It's so deep. It's really a totally modular synthesizer from that perspective. Yeah, it's an error. Could be a user error. Yeah, one thing I could try, because that's one thing which is good. Sometimes if you go to, that's a good thing for you maybe to know if you have deleted something by accident. If you would go then to the Blue 3 folder, and the same would be in applications, you will find Rob Papen Blue 3. You go to the bank folder, and then you see Rob Personal. You click inside of it, or you have the tilde things, date modified. So here's the backup. You see, point backup. So the moment I change something, it makes a backup. So and I change this backup. I remove this one in the name, and I will call it. Then it's a backup. Then it should be dot. Now I forgot the extension. What was it again? FXP. Yeah, so now here's again, so FXP, so the extension should be FXP. So now it's back again. Let's see. So you see, if you delete something, it does do a hashtag, a tilde fx or backup. So it well could be that it is then still available. So let me see. I go to the bank manager. What sometimes helps is going back and forth to again. No. Totally messed up. I think I messed up then, but I will check later on. So it's a strange thing. Okay, so that in terms of a blue FXP. Yeah, Johan, thanks, FXP. So I'm not sure. I will do this tomorrow morning with a fresh mind. I will test again. So the latest news, guys, is that we released Explorer 8 version 6, which the Blue 3 update. Some little bugs are fixed, but most importantly, the bit 2 is now also Anchor S. And so maybe you did not download Explorer 8 for a longer period, then it's wise to download it again. But if you did recently download and install it, you also can scroll down on the download page of Explorer 8 and download the single installer of Blue 3. I think Predator 3, we did a few little things. And of course, then bit 2. And in case you have then the Ancas, download the bit 2 Ancas installer, and then you will have also bit 2 in complete control or machine 2. So let me check the chat room, because I was playing around a lot, doing my sound design fun. So I'm checking now the chat room if there is any question. Sometimes you click wrong and all is gone. Yeah, definitely. It's the worst thing I did. Let me tell you, that's many years ago. I was really creating music, and I had really the good flow, and I had one big button which was the main power on off for all the instruments. And at that time, I worked still with the Atari, so I speak about, I think 30 years ago or something like that. So I had really a nice piece created in the Atari computer. I'm not sure if I saved it. I think I was not in this. I still was in the process of just playing around, and I went down to catch a coffee, and for some reason, in my automatic system, I did shut down the light shortly, the lights, but also shut down the main power. So then everything was gone. So that happens to everybody. Okay, so checking the chat room again. Yeah, that's another thing. Of course, we have then also because last year we had 25 years of raw pop and noises and sounds and all kind of stuff. We had this Papen affix. So some people might not know it or new to our brand. Papen is a free plugin, and there's no, how you say that, attributes attached to it. You simply can download it. If you go to the virtual effects, you see all kind of effects we have, and then the last one is Papen. And if you click, you can see it here. So this is Papen, which is a very cool panning plugin. You can do auto panning, but also kind of Doppler thing. It has the spring back feature. So if you make a stereo effect with, let's say, a vocal, it goes smooth back. It's very, very, very cool. And there are no string attached. If you click Get Papen, you go to the license terms, which you need to agree, of course. And then if you agree to the license terms, and then you can download it and install it. And let's see, we have up to OS 12, but I think it's even higher. It's not, if it runs on OS 12 on the Mac, it also runs on OS 13, of course. So it's M1 ARM compatible. So we had that as a free plugin 1 year ago, exactly 1 year ago, because 1st of June, the raw Papen brand was officially formed in 1997. So in case you missed that, it's a very cool plugin. Okay, so let me fix this back again so that I can see, because in the upper part I have this so back here, and that's also what I told earlier. You have this control menu here. This control menu, if you go here, download latest version, and most likely it will bring you down to the latest version if you have an older version. Okay. Well, if there is any questions, let me know. Somebody says he just have new speakers. That's always cool to have new speakers. I'm looking up in the chat room, maybe that I missed a question from you guys. So another thing which we are doing is updating our VST3, because we have this outer frame issue with, for instance, that appeared in Fruity Loops and in Studio One, that there was an outer frame if you change the user interface, the graphic interface. This is fixed, but of course it takes a little bit more time to update everything. It's already fixed in Predator 3, as I know. It fixed already in, of course, in Blue 3. It doesn't happen, and it doesn't happen in Bit 2. It doesn't happen in Sublime Base 2. So we are in the process updating the VST3. Okay. Other thing, sometimes what it mentions, people, because we have the animated dials, so you see the rings here moving. So like here in the frequency, and some PCs which have onboard graphic card do have a little bit trouble with that. Then it gets the user interface gets sloppy. Well, we have in this control menu, which we have on all these synths, there's 3 lines in the upper corner. You can set the size of the screen, but also shut down the graphics. For instance, the dial animation you can put off, the 3D animation if you think that's annoying, you know. This one. In some computers, especially if you have a built-in on the CPU board using that graphic card, sometimes it seems to cause a little bit of an issue. So it can shut it down. So in the graphics, you can shut it down. and also show wave screen on preset change. So I think it's off on my system by default, because yeah, it's not always nice if you see one page each time. When you added presets, of course, it's nice that it stays on the last one. But if you have done this on, this feature, let me put it on, show wave screen, I put it on, then it jumps to the wave screen. So, and we had last week, by the way, so if you missed it, last week we also had blue 3 presets in the download section of YouTube. So also last week in the live stream, in the info section, you can find presets. I think it was this one, more Eastern sound. So this almost sounds fantasy, but all a bit like a koto, not fully, but need to use the pitch bend. Yeah, about the graphic card, what was strange because of the chip shortage. The graphic cards became insane expensive. I'm not sure if that's still the same, because I purchased a new i9 main computer last year, and it's insane how the graphic cards became so expensive. It has to do with, I think, the game world that people want. The COVID came, everybody started doing games, and they saw a chance to increase the prices, or maybe it was the chip shortage, which was for a given time. But yeah, they are very expensive, the graphic cards, although they are very hard needed also for music production. So it's money well spent, but it's a bit shocking how much they increase in price. Oh no, he said the graphic cards price is gone a bit down, but still expensive. Yeah, well, they were ridiculous expensive, really ridiculous. Anyhow, guys, I'm for today all fine. So if you don't have any questions, I'm gonna say goodbye again. Next week, there will be no live stream, because then we have a family remembrance of my mother, which passed away just 1 year ago. So then we have a family meeting in remembrance, or you call that, for my mother. And so, but then we catch up in 2 weeks, and then we see what we will have then. Maybe I will do on another day a live stream. I have some plans maybe to do some Facebook live streams next week. So maybe I will be on the Wednesday live on YouTube. We'll see. But I will put that in the community tab. There is a section in YouTube where I can post things, and if you are subscribed to my channel, you will see this post. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. I will put up this preset we had for today. It turned out in a very cool preset. You can drop it in one of your own folders, and the sound is called Velocity Split Fun 2. Split Fun 2 went into the trash in some way. But this one you will be able to download. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Enjoy creating music. That's very important that you enjoy it. And yeah, see you in 2 weeks, or maybe next week on another day. Bye-bye.